Hello, my name is Celeste and I am the Program Manager at the Vancouver Humane Society. We invite you to join us for a few quick minutes to learn about our new online trauma-informed training program. Looking at the terms compassion fatigue and burnout, are either of those something that you've experienced with your work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's kind of rampant in our sector for sure. There's a high workload. We're constantly getting requests for surrenders, assistance for owned animal treatments, strays, calls about people just needing public veterinary services. Veterinary services are very expensive and not necessarily accessible for most people.
If you work in the animal services sector, it's very possible that what was just shared resonates with you. There's a growing problem of burnout and compassion fatigue in our sector. We wanted to better understand these experiences and find ways to mitigate and prevent the effects of them. To do this, we launched a research project to identify what challenges animal service workers experience, including witnessing both human and animal suffering, and how this impacts their own mental state, including vicarious trauma, compassion fatigue, and burnout. To explore this, we spoke with workers in organizations like shelters, rescues, and animal protection and enforcement. We also held interviews with workers from sectors who employ trauma-informed practices to better understand how they can be adapted to the animal services sector. To ensure the courses were relevant and impactful, we spoke with pet guardians who had challenging experiences when accessing services from organizations that help animals. In a confidential interview with a domestic violence survivor who had to surrender their cat, they shared the following with us.
The next thing I know, our cat was being flung around the room and thrown against a wall, and they started bleeding. The next time that my partner left, which was the next day, I cleaned the cat up and I went to the SPCA and I asked to surrender it. They asked me why, and I explained the cat wasn't safe at home. Then, they asked me if I would pay a fee. At the time, I was basically not allowed money. The worker was very insistent that, from then on, I would never be able to adopt another animal. Honestly, that broke my heart. They were quite rude. Their tone of voice was quite jarring. It was pretty intimidating, and I walked away crying.
The situation this person was in is a great example of why a trauma-informed approach to designing and delivering services is necessary. We know that if a person receiving services comes out emotionally stronger as a result of the experience, they will be better able to care for their pet as well. This free online training program is designed for workers and leaders in the animal service sector, including sheltering, rescue, enforcement, veterinary services, and bylaw. Through these courses, you'll learn how to reduce burnout and compassion fatigue in your organization and improve outcomes for animals and their guardians by implementing trauma-informed and culturally safe practices. You might be wondering, what did trauma-informed and culturally safe mean? When we're acting in a trauma-informed way, we're acknowledging that trauma is a common experience that can affect how people communicate and respond to challenging situations. Cultural safety is an essential part of a trauma-informed approach. It ensures we work in environments free of discrimination, racism, and assumptions, and maintains respectful relationships with people accessing services based on mutual trust. Implementing these approaches leads to more positive, collaborative conversations. Experiencing this and being a part of those positive outcomes, instead of continuously seeing the trauma that animal guardians and their pets go through, can result in compassion satisfaction rather than fatigue, and contributes to organizational resilience. The information shared in the courses is rooted in the lived experiences of animal service workers who were interviewed, including real-life scenarios they've been in and recommendations they highlighted. The courses include videos, graphics, worksheets, reflection activities, interactive questions, and quizzes, all intended to help you and your team brainstorm creative ways to shift practices and policies. In the first course, you'll learn the basics of a culturally safe and trauma-informed approach, and cover some practical scenarios that will help you incorporate this into your work.
Cultural safety is intrinsically linked with a trauma-informed approach.
The second course is geared towards leaders of animal service organizations who are looking to create a trauma-informed, culturally safe work environment and programs by shifting their practices, programming, and internal policies. The third course covers the ins and outs of recognizing and mitigating the effects of compassion fatigue and burnout, both in yourself and your team members, as well as prevention techniques. We invite you to sign up for these free courses at vancouverhumane.ca/training. You can get in touch about this program or future opportunities, including face-to-face training workshops, by emailing traumainformed@vancouverhumanesociety.bc.ca.